Hello students, we have completed the chapter. Now we step into NEET classes. So here I am going to read out the question with 4 multiple choice answers. In this, which is the accurate answer? Just I am going to discuss. Clear? So we are starting with exercise 1, level 1. So we start with the first question. Has underground specialized chute with a reduced disc-like stem covered by a fleshy leaves? So here you should understand the question. The question itself is underground. It is below the ground. Specialized and has a reduced disc-like. So here disc-like stem. So disc-like stem is present, fleshy covered by a fleshy leaves, covered by a fleshy leaves. So we know that underground disc is always present in the onion. So onion has a presence of disc-like structures covered by the fleshy edible leaves, that is in turn covered by a dry scaly leaf as well as foliage leaf which is above the ground. So here the options are bulb. So the first option is bulb. So this bulb is nothing but onion. It is nothing but onion. In this onion, there is a presence of a reduced disc-like stem. A disc-like stem has the presence of adventitious roots, and at the center there is a presence of axillary bud, and this is covered by the fresh leaves. Fresh leaves have been present. So this is called as fresh edible leaf. So here the right answer is bulb. So we are going to see the other options. The second one is called as bulbil. So in a bulbil you can see example called as agave. In a agave, towards the lower side of the plant there is a spherical shaped structures called as bulbils which helps in vegetative propagation. So we go for the third one called as rhizome. The third one is rhizome. Here it is again underground stem. It is an underground stem. You can see this in the ginger. In a ginger called Gingiber officinalis. Ginger called Gingiber officinalis. There is a presence of rhizome. So this is one. The fourth option is called as rhizopora. So this rhizopore is nothing but it is a leaf-like stem. So it is nothing but leaf-like stem. This leaf-like stem is called as rhizopora. This can be noticed in Selaginella. So it is in a plant called as Selaginella. So it is nothing but rhizopore. So this is leaf-like structure in Selaginella. So the first option is bulb is the right one. So underground reduced disc-like stem can be noticed in the bulb. So we go for the second one. The swollen lower end of a leaf stalk. Lower end of a leaf stalk is. So here the leaf stalk is nothing but petiole. So the petiole has the presence of swollen base. So that is one. Here the first option is petiole. The leaf stalk is called petiole, but here he is asking about the swollen lower part. So it is not the answer. The second one is called as pulvinate. So pulvinate is nothing but the leaf base has the presence of swelling, that is called as pulvinate. That is the right answer. And the third one is called as thalamus. So thalamus is nothing but it is the ending part of the pedicel or petiole. So here when you take a word pedicel, pedicel is called as stalk of a flower. This region is called as thalamus. So this never comes under the leaf. So this is not the answer. Disc, again it is not present. Disc is nothing but the modification of a stem. So here the right answer is pulvinate. So we go for the third question. A pair of insectivorous plants is, so here the question is insectivorous plants. So the meaning of insectivorous plants, so the plants are modified for capturing the insects. So here the plant, when plant has a deficiency of nitrogen, then some leaves or some parts of the plant body is modified for capturing the insects, and that from the insect it takes nitrogen. So it is also called as carnivorous plants or insectivorous plants. So the first option is Dioscora and Rafflesia. So Dioscora and Rafflesia. So here we know that Dioscora is nothing but sundew. This is the other name of Dioscora is sundew, whereas Rafflesia is called as root parasite. It is a root parasite. It is not a insectivorous. So Rafflesia is not the answer. So when you go for the second option called as Nepenthes. So Nepenthes is called as a pitcher plant. It is called as a commonly called as pitcher plant. And the bladderwort is also called as Utricularia. Bladderwort is called Utricularia. So both this is a insectivorous plant. So Nepenthes as well as bladderwort is the insectivorous plant. So this is the answer. So when we go for a Dionia, is nothing but Venus flytrap. So Venus flytrap is one of the insectivorous plant, whereas the second one called as Viscum. So Viscum is called as partial stem parasite. Partial stem parasite. So this is not the insectivorous plant. When we go for the next one called as Venus flytrap, this is nothing but Dionia Rafflesia. So Rafflesia is again called as, it is a root parasite. Root parasite. So this is not the answer. So here the right answer is Nepenthes and bladderwort is the right answer. So we go for the fourth question. Tripinnate leaves. So here the word tripinnate, it is a compound leaf. It is a compound leaf. In compound leaf it is called as pinnate. Pinnate leaf. So the meaning of tripinnate, there are three rachis have been present. One is called as a primary rachis. The primary rachis followed by secondary rachis. Secondary rachis is followed by tertiary rachis. Like this, three rachis have been present. That is called as tripinnate leaf occurs in. The first one is Acacia. So the first option is called Acacia. So this is one of the xerophytic plant. It is present in the desert areas, dry areas. So it is one of the xerophytic plant. Whereas the second one is called as Oxalis. So Oxalis is one of the runner. It is a subaerial stem modification called runner. And the third one is called as Muranga. So this Muranga is commonly called as drumstick. So this drumstick has the presence of stem. The stem is giving rise to petiole. The petiole is extended as primary rachis. This primary rachis is giving rise to secondary rachis. This is called secondary rachis, and this secondary rachis gives rise to tertiary rachis. So this secondary rachis is giving rise to tertiary rachis. So this tertiary rachis holds the leaflets. This is called as tertiary rachis, and this tertiary rachis holds the leaves on both the sides. Hence this is called as a tripinnate compound leaf. Like this, it is present in all. Hence it is called as the Muranga is the right answer, called as drumstick. So when we go for the fourth option, so fourth option is Gynandrous. So Gynandropus. So this is nothing but green vegetable. So this is nothing but a green vegetable called as stem. Green vegetable stem. So one of this is called as cabbage. So this is not the answer. So the right answer is for tripinnate is Muranga. So we go for the next question. Leaves are changed into spines in xerophytic structures. Xerophytic is nothing but desert, dry areas. So leaves are modified into spines in xerophytic structures are called. So we are going to see the first option called as phyllodes. The word phyllodes is like winged leaf-like structures. So that winged leaf-like structures functions as a leaf, that is called as phyllodes. So this is the first option, phyllodes. So this phyllodes is nothing but winged leaf-like structure, but it functions as a leaf. This is called as phyllodes. So we go for the second one called as cladode. This is called as cladode. So we know that cladode is again, it is a flattened green stem like structure. So flattened green structures or green stem. This is called as phyllodes, cladode. So we go for the third one called as phylloclad. The third option is phylloclad. So this is again, it is a flattened green stem, but it functions as a leaf. Functions as leaf. So hence it is phylloclad. So phylloclad is the right answer. And the fourth option is all of this. So here the right answer is phylloclad. So leaf-like structures modified into spines is called as phylloclad. Here you can see open shear. In this open shear, the leaves are modified into spines. This is called as open shear. The right answer is flattened stem, functions like a leaf, and the answer is phylloclad. So we go for the next question called as sixth question, swollen spongy petiole. So the petiole is spongy in texture. Swollen spongy petiole is present in, the first one is hydrilla. Hydrilla is called as water themes. So this is the first option called hydrilla. So this hydrilla are called water themes. This is the first option. So we go for the second option. The second option is called high cornea. Second one is high cornea, and high cornea is called as water hyacinth. Water hyacinth. This is the second option. And the third option is rupia. This is called as Vadian weeds. And the fourth option is pistia. This pistia is called as water lettuce. So here, these are the four options. First one is hydrilla, second one is high cornea, rupia, pistia. All these are nothing but four options. But here, in these four options, swollen petiole is present in the high cornea. So, high cornea is the right answer. So, we go for the next question. The following figures represent. Here, the following figure represents. So, here, the figure what is given here is usually like this. Here, there is a presence of two ovules, and here, two more ovules, and here, two more ovules. This is the figure given here. So, the following figure represents. The first option is basal placentation. So, here, as we know that there is a presence of basal placentation, the ovules are present at the base. So, here, when you take a ovule and this ovule, towards the lower side, there is a presence of ovule in a seed or in a ovary. Hence, it is called as basal placentation. The second one is called as marginal placentation. Second one is marginal placentation. So, in a marginal placentation, so we know that the ovules are present towards one side or one margin. Hence, it is called as marginal placentation. The third one is called as axial placentation. So, in an axial placentation, we know that there is a presence of central axis. At the central axis, there is a presence of ovules. So, here this is one and another like this. So, this is called as axial placentation. And the right answer is called as parietal placentation. Parietal placentation. So, here parietal placentation, we can see that towards the periphery, the ovules are being present. So, this is about parietal placentation. They are present towards the ovules are present towards the periphery. So, here the right answer is parietal placentation. So, we will start with the next question. The next question is phylloclad. Phylloclad is found in. So, phylloclad is found in. So, the first option is chrysanthemum. So, chrysanthemum is usually called as sucker. It is a subaerial stem modification, sucker. This is not the answer. The second one is called as asparagus. So, in asparagus, it is commonly called as, it is a sparrow grass. Sparrow grass. The third option is ruscus. It is called as butcher's broom. So, it is called as butcher's broom, called as rascus, and the fourth one is called as opuntia, called as cactus. Here, the leaves are usually flattened, which has the presence of spiny structures, and hence this is called as phylloclad. So, the right answer for this is opuntia. That is the right answer. So, we go for the next question. Potato is underground stem because it. So, four options. The first one is possesses axillary buds. I possesses axillary buds. So we know that when you take a word potato, so the potato is usually called as underground stem, called as tuber. So this tuber has the presence of axillary buds at the nodal region. So here potato has the presence of nodes and internodes, hence they are usually called as stem. The stem is below the ground, there is a presence of axillary buds. At the axillary bud there is a presence of axillary buds. This is called as eye. So when you cut this eye, and so this helps in vegetative propagation. So the first option itself is right. The second one lacks chlorophyll. But potato which is below the ground, if chlorophyll is present or absent, it's not the matter. So that's not the answer. Does not bear roots. Even this is not the answer. Contains a reserve food. Even this is not the answer, but it has a reserve food, but it cannot be identified based on that. So here the potato is called as underground stem because it has the presence of axillary buds at the nodal region of a stem called as eye. So this is the right answer. First option is right. So we go for the next question. Ginger multiplies vegetatively. Ginger multiplies vegetatively by, or edible part of a ginger is. The word edible, which can be eaten, is called as edible part of a ginger is. The first one is bud. So this is not the answer because the buds are axillary buds present at the nodal region. So it is not the answer. The second one is called as stem, but it is an underground stem part. But still here this is not the answer. But the third one is called as tuber. The tuber is the potato. It is not the ginger. So this is not the answer. And the fourth option is called as rhizome. So this rhizome is the right answer. Just have a look here. If rhizome would have not been present here, stem was right answer. Because stem is also there and rhizome is also there, the underground stem is called as rhizome. So this will be the right answer. So we go for the next question. Citrus, thorns, spines is actually a modification of. Citrus is nothing but lemon, orange, all that comes under citrus. Thorn or spines are actually modifications of. The first option is stem, second option is root, the third option is leaf, fourth option is stipules. So here we know that it is the modifications present on the stem. So the right answer is stem is the answer because roots are below the ground, spines will not be there. Leaf is also not the answer, stipules are also not the answer. So here in a citrus, modifications of a stem has the presence of thorns, spines. So that is the right answer. So we go for the next question. Thorn on bougainvillea. Thorn on bougainvillea. So bougainvillea is nothing but a paper flower. Is the modification of, first option stem, second option leaf, third option floral, bud, and fourth one is root. But again here bougainvillea is nothing but a paper flower. The modifications of stem modifications like thorn. So here the right answer is stem. On the stem there is the presence of thorns. So the right answer is stem. So we go for next question. If more than two whorls of leaves arises at one nodal or one node to form a whorl, it is called, I'll repeat this question, more than two leaves arises from one nodal region to form a whorl. It is called, first option, whorled phyllotaxy or whorled. The second one is alternate. So the word alternate, only one nodal region has one leaf. In an alternate, only one leaf arises from one nodal region, so it is not the answer. The next one is opposite. The word opposite indicates two leaves have been present on each nodal region. Either they are present on the same sides, it is called as superposed. When they are present at right angles to each other, they are called as decusate. But it is not the answer. The fourth option is palmate. So in a palmate, the petiole ends at the end of a point, at one particular point, the leaf arises. So even that's not the answer. So here the right answer is whorled. Whorled phyllotaxy is the right answer. So we go for next question. Which one has a largest number of genera? Largest number of genera and species of the plants. So here he has given about 4 families. In these 4 families, which is the largest genera and species to be noticed? So we start with the first one is called as Malvaceae. So this Malvaceae is a hibiscus family. So Malvaceae, example for this is hibiscus. The second one is Liliaceae. So Liliaceae is one more monocot family, Liliaceae. So here example, it may be lily or even onion comes under this. The third one is called as Brassicaceae. The third is called as Brassicaceae. So in this Brassicaceae, it is a mustard family. Mustard family. And the fourth option is called as Asteraceae. So here Asteraceae is also called as Compositae. So here we can see the example called as sunflower, Compositae or Asteraceae. The example is sunflower, marigold. So here the question is, which is the largest number of genera and species have been present? So the largest genera and species are present in Asteraceae. So this is the right answer. So the first Malvaceae is not the answer, Liliaceae, Brassicaceae is not the answer. So Asteraceae is the right option, where is the presence of plenty of different species of sunflowers, marigold, all these are the examples for this. So we go for the next one. 15th question. A plant with photosynthetic roots. Here the roots are green in color, helps in photosynthesis. Hence they are called as photosynthetic roots. So here the first one is called as Trapa. Here the first option is called as Trapa. So this Trapa is nothing but water chestnut. Water chestnut. This is the called as a Trapa. This Trapa, here the roots are green in color and helps in photosynthesis. So this is the right option. Here the first one itself is the right answer, called as Trapa. Whereas the second one is called as Dahlia. Dahlia, this is not the answer. So in Kannada we call this as Deraval. So this is not the answer. So when we go for the third one, and the third one is called as Mormantica. So this is commonly called as bitter gourd. Bitter gourd. So this bitter gourd, this is commonly called as, in Kannada we use a word agalkai. So this is also not the answer. And the fourth one is called as mirabilis. So this mirabilis is commonly called as 4-o'clock plant. 4-o'clock plant, or it is called as Mirabilis jalpa. This is the one. But the right answer for photosynthetic is Trapa. So we go for the next question. The petiole part of a leaf, the petiole part of a leaf is known as epipodium, mesopodium, hypopodium, and none of the above. So when you take a leaf, the leaf has three parts. So as we know that one is a leaf base and the other one is called as petiole, and this petiole is extended as midrib, and there is a presence of leaf like this. So here this is called as leaf base, and this is called as petiole, and this is called as leaf lamina. So these are the three parts. The first part is always called as hypopodium. So this is called as hypopodium. The second one is called as mesopodium, and the third one is called as epipodium. So these are the three parts of the leaf. So here the question is petiole part of a leaf. Petiole part of a leaf is called as mesopodium. So this mesopodium is the right answer. So this is called as second option is right. So we go for the next question, 17th question. In a drupe of coconut, so coconut fruit is commonly called as drupe. So in a drupe of coconut, mesocarp is. So here, as we know that when you take a tender coconut, so in a tender coconut, there is a presence of the green colored layer, and this green colored layer is called as epicarp. The second one is called as a fur-like structure, coir or fur-like structure. This is called as mesocarp. And the inner one, there is a presence of hard shell, and this is called as endocarp. So this is called as coconut drupe. So the question is, in a coconut drupe, mesocarp is. The first one is stony. So this stony can be noticed in the endocarp. So this is called as stony. This is endocarp. It is not the answer. The next one is fleshy, and the third one is fibrous. So this fibrous is the right answer. So we know that there is a presence of coir, and this coir is nothing but fibrous. So the fibrous is the right answer, and there is a presence of liquid. The fourth option is liquid. Inside this there is a presence of fleshy, and inside this there is a presence of liquid. So these two are developed from endosperm. So this is important. Just observe, the endosperm of a coconut is giving rise to solid as well as liquid, which is edible, whereas epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp, these three are not edible, but the mesocarp is fibrous. So the right answer is fibrous. We go for the next question. The following figures represents. So here, this is the floral formula given here. So this floral formula has the presence of the outermost layer called as calyx, and this sepals or calyx is united, and it has a presence of end-to-end arrangement, and the second whorl is called as corolla. In this corolla, one of the petal is always called as a standard petal, and this standard petal is present both the edges outside. So this is called as one, and these two petals are called as wing petals. Here one and here one, wing petals, one edge is in, one edge is out, and the remaining two petals are fused, and it is called as keel petals. And there is a presence of 10 stamens, and there is a presence of monocarpellary. So this type of floral diagram can be noticed in. The first option is called as Leguminosae. So Leguminosae is nothing but Leguminosae. So this is commonly called as Fabaceae family. This is the first option, Fabaceae. And the second option is called as Lily family. The second one is called as lily family, and this lily family is nothing but Liliaceae. And the third one is usually called as potato family. Third one is potato family, and this potato family is nothing but Solanaceae. Solanaceae. And the fourth one is usually called as cereals. Cereal family, and this cereal family is nothing but Papilionaceae. Papilionaceae. But here the right answer is called as Leguminosae. So this floral diagram represents Leguminosae. Just in these four options, if Leguminosae has not been present, then Papilionaceae will be the right answer, because Papilionaceae as well as Leguminosae both are, it is a subfamily. Fabaceae subfamily is called as Papilionaceae. So if this is the right answer, this is the accurate answer, if this is not there, Papilionaceae would have been right answer. But here Leguminosae is right answer. So we go for next question, 19th question. The edible part of orange. So, orange, lemon, all this comes under citrus. So, edible part which can be eaten is called as edible. Edible part of an orange is mesocarp, aril, endocarp, placental hairs. So, we know that orange has the presence of outer skin, and this skin is called as epicarp. Next to that there is a mesocarp, and next to that there is a presence of endocarp. But here the options given is mesocarp is given, aril is given, endocarp is given, placental hairs are given. If placental hairs was not there, endocarp would have been right answer. But here placental hairs have been present, so the edible part of an orange is placental hairs. So the fourth option is right. Placental hairs are right. Next, we go for the other one. Colocynth is obtained from Coloecium autumnale. It belongs to a family. I will repeat this. Colocynth is obtained from a plant called as Coloecium autumnale. It belongs to a family. The first family is called as Liliaceae. So this Liliaceae is nothing but a lily family. It is a lily family, and here even onion is also one of the examples. So lily and onion will be the present. The second one is called as Solanaceae. So in this Solanaceae, it is nothing but a potato family. And the third one is called as Leguminosae. So in this Leguminosae, it is called as Fabaceae, and in this Fabaceae, there is a presence of pea beans. This is the examples. And the fourth one is called as Poaceae. The fourth one is called as Poaceae. So this Poaceae can be seen in the wheat, and we can see grass. All that comes under wheat family. But here the question is Colocynth is obtained from Coloecium autumnale. So this Colocynth is the present in a family called as Liliaceae. So the right option for this is Liliaceae. So we go for the next question. 21st. Bract of a jowar flower. Jowar. So bract of jowar is called, the first option is called as Pilea. So this Pilea is nothing but, it is nothing but the glomule. It is nothing but glume is a bract. Glume is a bract between the spikelets. Between the spikelets of inflorescence. spikelets of inflorescence of a grass. That is one. So we go for the second one. The second one is called as lima. So this lima is called as spikelet of grasses, or called as poaceae. Grasses, poaceae. And the third one is called locule. So this locule is a white scale below the ovary. Below the ovary of grass family. Of a grass family. And fourth one is spikelet. So this spikelet is nothing but it is a basic unit of grass flower. Grass flower consists of two glumerules. So these are the four options, but here the bract of Jover plant is called as Pellia. Pellia is the right one because glumule is a bract between the spikelets of inflorescence of a grass. So this is the one. So we go for next question, 22nd. Flower can be divided into two equal radial halves. So when a flower can be divided into two equal radial halves in any plane passing through the center. Any plane is nothing but radial symmetry. So once it is passing through the center, it's said to be. First one is zygomorphic. So here the word zygomorphic is nothing but it is a bilateral symmetry. It is nothing but bilateral symmetry. So this is not the answer. So we go for the second one called as actinomorphic. So the word actinomorphic, here the flower can be cut into two equal halves in any plane. Hence it is called as radial symmetry. So right answer is actinomorphic. And the third option is bilateral symmetry. So bilateral symmetry is nothing but zygomorphic. This is not the answer. The fourth option is both 2 and 3. So but this is not the answer, but here the right answer is actinomorphic. So when a flower can be cut into two equal halves in any plane is called as actinomorphic. So we have completed 22 questions.